everyone. I have a story today that is kind of what we would call a spin-off of another story. So I'm going to read the title, and I bet the minute I read it, you're going to go, oh, I know what story that's kind of like. The name of this story today is Goldie Socks and the Three Liberians. Do we know a story about someone named Goldie Socks or Goldie Locks and the Three Bears? So this is a story that is similar, but what I want you to really think about today when I'm reading this story is how the characters learn to make good book choices. So let's see how this story ends up. Goldie Socks and the Three Liberians by Jackie Mims Hopkins, illustrated by John Manders. There she is with her golden hair. You be thinking if it's the same or different while I'm reading. One morning, a little girl named Goldie Socks was on her way to school. Goldie Socks usually walked along the road, but this day, since she was running particularly late, she decided to take a shortcut through the forest. Maybe not the best thing to do. By and by, Goldie Socks came upon an astonishing sight, and that means she went, astonished means shocked, or oh my goodness, it looks amazing. There in the middle of the forest, she saw a cottage that appeared to be made of books. Look at that, everyone. Books. That would be pretty cool. Goldie Socks loved books more than the bears love honey. So she went up to the house for a closer look. She knocked on the door, and to her surprise, it creaked open. Do you see how it's all made from books? Cautiously, Goldie Socks peeked inside. Shelves and shelves of wondrous books lined the walls. She called out to see if anyone was home, but no one answered. Goldie Socks knew she shouldn't go in, but the temptation of all those books was more than she could bear. Kindergarten, should she go in though? Probably not. Oh my goodness, look at all these books. Once inside the cottage, Goldie Socks went straight to the shelves and began browsing through the books. The first book she pulled off the shelf was too big. In fact, it was so heavy it fell to the floor. Look at that. Goldie Socks went to another shelf, but the book she took from this shelf was too little. Then she looked through some non-fiction books and found one that was just right. Hey, do we know about just right books, kindergarten? Not too big, not too small, but just right. We can read most all of the words in them. Huh. Goldie Socks wandered and wandered over the shelves, and she opened up chapter books. She used the 5-finger rule to see if the book was too hard. She started with the closed fist, and when she came to a word she couldn't read, she put up 1 finger. All 5 fingers went up while reading the first page of that book. She knew that told her brain that book is too hard for Goldilocks to read as a just right book. Then she kept looking, and she found several books that were just right for her. Goldie Socks began searching for the perfect place to read them. So first she found books that just had too many words in them she didn't know. Now, are those good books that we can still always look at the pictures in? But those aren't good fits or just right books, are they? Uh-oh, let's see where she finds to read. See if this sounds familiar to the story we know. Goldie Socks looked around the room and spotted a big, lazy bear recliner. She climbed into the enormous chair and pushed it back, but it went back way too far. She surveyed around the room again, and this time she spied a poofy couch with lots of pillows. Goldie Socks sprang into the air and landed smack dab in the middle of the couch. Pillows flew everywhere. The couch was too squishy. Maybe there was a comfy place to read upstairs, she thought. When Goldie Socks reached the top of the stairs, she saw a tent. It was made out of a blanket. She crawled inside the cozy tent, opened the book of fairy tales that was just right for her, and began reading. This was a just right reading spot. Whoa, I hope you found a just right reading spot at your house. That looks fun. Maybe you could build a little fort or tent. Around noon, the three librarians came home from lunch. Or for lunch, I mean. There they go. Papa Librarian immediately noticed one of his books was on the floor. Ooh. Somebody's been looking at my big books and left one on the floor, he said. Then Mama Librarian said, somebody's been looking at my little books and put one back on the shelf with its pages showing instead of the spine. That's not the way we put them away in the library, is it? The baby librarian said, somebody's been looking at my nonfiction book and it is gone. Whoa. Papa Librarian looked at another shelf and said, somebody's been looking at my hard books and left one on the top shelf. Somebody's been looking at my easy books and put one back on the shelf upside down, said Mama. Then Baby Librarian said, somebody's been looking at my fairy tale book and one of them is gone. Papa Librarian saw that his favorite chair was not in the same position as when he had left it. Somebody's been sitting in my recliner and they left it pushed back, he said. Then Mama Librarian said, somebody's been on my poofy couch and they knocked all the pillows on the floor. The three librarians crept up the stairs, and when they got to the top, Baby Librarian said, somebody's been in my cozy reading tent, and there she is. Goldie Socks looked up from her book and saw the big, sharp teeth of the three librarians. Look at her face. That's what we'd call shocked, scared. Whoa! Smiling at her. Whoa, look at that. The bears are smiling at her. Not what we maybe thought. Papa, Mama, and Baby Librarian joined Goldie Socks in the tent. Papa Librarian read a story to everyone, and it was just right. Well, I hope you have lots of just right reading times at your house with everybody that loves you. Thanks for listening.